Before we start, I'd like to explain how this video is going to be structured. I have a list of the most important lessons from the 113 lessons, which I have taken notes on by hand from the Copywriting Campus. Based on the text message you sent me last night at 12:39 a.m., I believe these are the most important lessons for the stage of the game where you are at right now. With that out of the way. 5. Everything is a battle. We are at war. A war most men do not realize they are losing. They don't even realize they're fighting it, because many of them are not fighting at all. So what is this war? It is the war for your attention, for your energy. Every day, we come in and we do work that does not benefit us in the long run. I take calls for a car insurance company that does not provide enough value in the world for me to go drive a Lamborghini. You are paid the value you are worth. So, it is time to do Power Up Call number 82. Declare war. You are in a battle for your life, whether you realize it or not, and many of you don't. Sorry, this is just for Dion. But Dion, you don't realize you're in a war because the attacks are secret. Military IEDs are the ones that are being used against you, not bullets. You don't have a billion people coming out and shooting you down and saying, no, you can't start a business. No, you can't do what you want to do. Instead, your time is slowly sucked out by Instagram, YouTube, any other random distraction. We need to wage an all-out war on everything that does not serve our immediate purpose. As such, you have realized this last night at 12:39 a.m. on January 19th, 2026. I received what could possibly be the most important text message of your development for now. Hey man, just wanted to update you on how I'm personally doing and why I haven't shown activity to you or our agency in a long period of time. Last week, I've been focused on achieving all my goals and dreams. I already had them written out. I have ambitions. My problem was I wasn't striving to reach them. I've been struggling with temptation, overthinking, and laziness. I love this honesty. Let's keep going. So I've almost completely disconnected myself from the outside world to build an indestructible mindset. Put attention to my current priorities, such as college, health and well-being, finding a part-time job, saving for my first car, etc., and actually executing my plans. All of my devices have been set on Do Not Disturb and silent mode, and I've only answered urgent calls and texts from family. It's gotten to the point where my parents are genuinely concerned for me. I don't want to be stuck here following my family around. I want to live a life where I can pursue my biggest passion and profit from it. I don't want to make this come off as another excuse. I apologize for not putting in the time and effort the team has been expecting and waiting for, and I feel like right now will be a great time for me to step back into the agency. I've learned a lot from you, and I'm trying to go further from here. Good. You'll have noticed that I stopped reaching out to you, I stopped messaging you, because everything in life is a value exchange. I give you a certain amount of energy and value, and I see what you do with it. So for the last 2, maybe 3 weeks, we haven't talked at all. Why? Because any value, any time I gave you was wasted. I did not receive anything back from you. You never made any valuable work. You never did what you were supposed to do, in short. I am so glad to have received this message. Not just because it means that I'm going to be able to do better, but because it means that more men are waking up and actually fighting the good fight for their personal attention and time. So, what are we going to do? First things first. Dion the weak-willed, the weak-minded, is dead. He is no longer among us. We should host a funeral in celebration of the passing of Dion the Weak. That is why I have dressed in all black. Can't see it, but I'm also wearing black pants and black shoes. And we congratulate the new coming of Dion the Conqueror. You are on your path to earning this title. But have you earned it? Do you deserve it? The Conqueror is a title that you will hold high regard for. You will fight and you will prove that you deserve it every single day. We're going to talk about the daily actions you're going to do to deserve that title at the end of this video. For now, the most important thing I want you to do is to go watch Power Up Call number 109 at the end of this video. Power Up Call number 109 is a self-congratulations. You have met the point where you said enough is enough. You have reached your tipping point. Power Up Call number 46. Now, one of the biggest mistakes that we can make at this stage is the mistake that I made. It is believing that because we felt that intensity in one moment, we changed our lives, we never have to revise it again. That is a massive failing of the mind. So, what are we going to do to ensure that this is not a one-time thing? This is not a 3 a.m. energy motivation. This is going to be how we operate going forward. The first thing we're going to do is that we are going to learn the 2 most important lessons that we can get to be able to do the work that we need to do every single day. And those lessons come from Power Up Calls number 3 and 37. Power Up Call number 3. You will be disappeared by tomorrow. Imagine for a moment that God were to destroy the bottom 90% of humans in terms of laziness. If you learned that God was going to destroy the bottom 90% tomorrow, what would you do differently today? Ask yourself this question every morning. Do you deserve to live? Do you deserve to survive? Are you part of that 10%? Don't compare yourself to the people that you know in your life, because you know a bunch of weaklings. That's who you surround yourself with. That's why you were weak. Instead, think about all the kids in Africa, the adults too, that are starving and unable to feed themselves, who have to fight every single day just to have enough calories to continue to the next day. Do you fight harder than them? Do you honestly believe that you deserve to take their spot in this 10%? How about a group of Chinese hackers that focus every single day to try to break into the United States military and steal all of our personal information, to steal all of our military equipment, to dominate the United States? Do you deserve to win over them? Do you deserve to win over the single mom who has a kid who needs to struggle and figure out how to get her kid fed every day? Do you struggle harder than them? Do you deserve to be part of the 10%? The top 10%. Genuinely consider it. To quote Kurzgesagt for a moment, imagine you're on a cake. You are an ant, and there's a cherry on the top. As an ant, you're biting that cherry and trying to figure out what the rest of the cake tastes like. That is your life right now, in the sense that you say, well, I know 100 people, so at least one of them has to be part of that 10% that survives, so I'll just need to be as productive as them. But you're only biting the cherry. You're only biting the worst portion of the population because that's who you have access to. If you want to get access to the cake, you got to imagine it. And you can't even, because you don't know someone who lives in that area of life. Do you deserve to be part of that 10%? That's the first question we're going to ask ourselves every day. What am I going to do to make sure that I deserve to be part of that 10% every single day? All right. Question number 2. Gun to your head. Power up call number 37. Results in this type of competition. This is a real world competition. When you are being a copywriter, you are fighting against other copywriters, other marketers, other people who have other resources you don't have access to. Ask yourself, if someone put a gun to your head right now, and they told you you have 24 hours to get your issues resolved, what work would get done? There's a few alternatives as well. You can do gun to someone else's head, such as someone who you care about. Say your girlfriend, a dog, someone else who you care about. But use this question to move as quickly as possible. What would you do differently if there was a gun to your head and you were to die if you couldn't be as productive as possible? Take me for a moment. Did improving axolotl for 6 months change my business? Not really. The work I did in 6 months, I could have done in 2 weeks. I could have been faster, and I wasn't. I wasn't part of that top 10%. Change. Be better. Moving on. Okay. What are we going to do differently? Guarantee our results. To guarantee that we will become the people who we want to be. We are going to avoid the insanity trap. What is the insanity trap? It is the belief that for one reason or another, you are going to get different results based on the actions that you do, even if those actions are the exact same thing every single day. If every day you don't work on your business, is your business going to be successful? Of course not. You can't expect that. You cannot expect your business to be successful if you don't work on your business every day. That's just not how life works. And yet we fool ourselves into thinking that no work getting done means that we're going to get more money. That doesn't make sense. Avoid the insanity trap, and I'm going to tell you more about how to do that later. So, one of the skills you need to develop is the ability for a self-audit. So, go watch Power Up Calls number 39 and number 2, I believe. Those two. You are going to self-analyze. Do I need to do this thing that I'm doing right now? For example, I recently got some stuff that I could use to improve my setup here at my desk. I'm not going to do that. It doesn't make me more money for me to improve my desk. That does not make sense right now. Not worth it. Okay. Moving on. Set high expectations. Power Up Call number 21. You fail because you allow yourself to fail. You believe it is an acceptable criteria to not do the things you need to do every day, to not work on the marketing agency every day, to not achieve your goals. Are you an object? Power Up Call number 2. Do you feel like you have control over your life? Because in this world, there are objects and there are subjects. You must become a subject. You need to be someone who imposes your will upon others, because you are your will. Power Up Call number 1. You are the actions you take every day. You are who you decide to be every morning when you wake up. Every morning when you wake up, you could decide to be a different man. Decide to be better. How are we going to do that? We're going to watch the following Power Up Calls. 38, 49, 50, 51, and 52. What do these power-up calls teach us? And you're actually going to watch them because I don't have the time to give you these lessons myself. Power-up call number 38. All right, let's go down to 38. The lizard brain. You are going to learn the most primal parts of our mind and how you can use them to ensure your success. Then, power-up calls number 39, 50, 51, and 52 are as follows. 49, the testosterone cycle. 50, the advantage of dopamine. 51, the beauty of the OODA loop. And 52, take advantage of adrenaline. Sorry, 51 is take advantage of adrenaline. So is this supposed to be 50? I'm not sure. These notes have the same number for the two. I'm going to double check for you real quick, actually. Okay. 51, there's two power-up calls with the same number 51. But you're going to watch number 51, take advantage of adrenaline. All right. Moving on. Let's continue forth. Onwards. As I mentioned before, this is war that we are fighting. This is a secret war that you do not realize you are losing. So how do you win? You must be well planned. You must execute as intended. So, the first thing we're going to do is power-up calls number 28 and 102. We are going to define who our enemies are, and we are going to control our armies. As a broke young man, you have one tool that older men do not. Time. You can turn your time into anything you want it to be. And we have a lot of time. We have time that older men do not have because they must work full-time jobs, because they must do things we cannot do. Or we don't have to do, rather. I have to work a full-time job, but that doesn't stop me, and you don't have a full-time job. Take all the time you have available to you and make good with it. Do as much as you can with it. For example, let's see here. Okay. All right. Define who your enemies are and attack them ruthlessly. Your enemies include time wasting, addiction, anything else that gets in the way of you and your goals. Do not allow them to control your life. Do good work every single day. Power-up call 66 and 67. Think about it. If I'm a straight-up failure and I don't know what I'm doing in my life, even if I fail every single day, if I fail 100 times a day, I will succeed eventually. If you succeed eventually, then you've reached your goal. If you fail every day, but it's only once a day, it may take you a decade or two to succeed. If you fail 100 times a day, you will win in a month. That is the 30-day game plan. We are going to follow a strict daily regiment to be able to ensure that we are just as effective as the US military at conquering other countries. So, how do we do that? Invest your time wisely. I am going to give you daily lessons and actions to take for you to become the man you need to be. We have reached the end of this video, so let's talk about your daily checklist. And it is, thankfully, very simple. It is simple, yet very few people actually stick to it, myself included. And so one of the strategies that you and I are going to employ is that we are going to become accountability partners. Every single day, I am going to give you a report of my life. You will do the same back to me. When you are accountable to someone, you get more work done compared to not being accountable. So, your first task is to watch a daily morning power-up call. And don't worry about writing this down. I will give you this list in the Discord. Your second task is to watch at least one video in the course every day, or at least complete one section of the course every day. You're going to get access to my login details to be able to do that. Next, you are going to do the mission related to the videos and the quiz that you are going to complete. You are going to do 100 push-ups a day. This puts you into the right mental space for being able to get things done. Drink 16 ounces of water. Make your bed in the morning. Writing down tasks on paper to see what you actually completed. Because one of the most common issues, for me at least, is that I feel like I didn't do anything when I reach the end of the day. So write down what you did and cross them off as you do it. For example, make your phone distraction free right here on the list. Let's go ahead and cross that out because we're going to do that right now. So we're going to grab our iPhone. I really shouldn't show you my password, should I? Gotta change that now. Anyway, we're here in our iPhone, and you'll notice my iPhone looks a little weird. Because part of the lizard brain, 38, is that you are programmed to look for colorful things that grab your attention, things that are like, is that food or is that going to kill me? And so phones know this. The people who make your app know this. They know we're attracted to color. So turn it off. Turn off color. Make your phone dislikable. You're going to come into the color filter section here, and we're going to turn this on. You're going to go on grayscale, 100% intensity, and you are never going to see color on your phone again. Do the same on your computer. Next, we are going to install a Chrome extension called DF YouTube. Let me show that to you real quick. So, we're going to come over here to the Chrome Web Store. We're going to look up DF YouTube. Not DR. DF YouTube. Distraction-free YouTube. Why? Because there's a lot of value to be had in YouTube. There's a lot we're going to learn from YouTube. And yet, it is constantly going to serve us slop that does not serve our purposes. You'll see DF YouTube is already doing its work, but we're going to go ahead and disable that real quick. So let's take a look here. Oh, really? Nothing? Just because it's a new account? Okay, let's look up cars, just as an example. Watch one video. All right, and now we go back to the home screen, and now we're going to be full of a bunch of videos. Really? Okay. Oh, see, there's nothing in the watch history. Okay, give me a second to fill my watch history with random stuff. Alright, so we've got YouTube Shorts, very addictive. We've got Mr. Beast, we've got a bunch of tech stuff. Look at this, colors, fire, lightning. Pay attention to what we're looking at. Again, kind of fire in the background, not really, but it gives us that inspiration. Oh, look, famous people. This is what we are up against. Every single one of these videos have been perfectly designed and engineered to be as addictive as possible. But ask yourself for a moment, do any of these videos actually provide you any real long-term value? Probably not. So, we are going to turn on distraction-free YouTube. We're going to turn off absolutely everything. The only thing we're going to allow is playlists. Alright. This is what my YouTube looks like. So when I want to come in and watch the daily power-up call, I know that I'm only going to get the useful content that I'm actually looking for, at least at the top, and the home screen is never going to have the opportunity to sap my energy away. Why does this matter? Well, the thing is, you can try and use willpower to overcome your nature as much as possible. But the reality is you're fighting an uphill battle. Make it easy on yourself. Why not? Stop fighting an uphill battle. Just give yourself permission to take away the difficulty. Because we as humans, willpower only gets us so far. But if we build a system that requires us to get work done every single day, you're going to get it done. Every morning, stand in front of your mirror. Declare yourself Dion the Conqueror. Take the daily actions to deserve that title. Do it again and again to build your self-respect. Power-up call number 9. Build your self-respect. By making a promise and keeping it every single day, you will become the man who you say you are. I'm hyper-productive. I do everything I should be doing. Do you? Do you really? Prove it. How are we going to prove it? You're going to print out a calendar. I don't have my calendar here because my calendar is actually in my bedroom. But you're going to print out a calendar. January, February, March, April, May, June, July, so on and so forth. Every single day, we're going to black it out in black Sharpie. Black it out when you got the work for that day done. Every day, we are going to participate in the dojo, the power-up call, and the daily actions we need to do to make money happen. You're going to get the full breakdown on Discord. If you have any additional questions, you know where to find me. Text me, Discord me, email me, Notion it to me. Do whatever you need to do. Get a hold of me. You have re-earned access to my time, attention, and care. If you mean what you said in that message, you have the potential to become my business partner. To become someone who deserves to make a lot of money through copywriting. Prove that you are that man. And honestly, I'd be very, very happy because we would both be better men for it. We can work better together than separate. You have access to millionaires because of me. You have access to Professor Andrew Bass. We can ask him questions one-on-one. This guy has a multi-millionaire net worth. We have access to Ben Heath, who manages over 120 million US dollars of campaigns every single year. You have access to his team because of me. We have access to Neil Patel's software for detecting if a website is doing good or not on SEO. We have every single possible tool we could possibly need to be successful. This is not a question of getting more tools. This is not a question of getting more resources. We have every resource we could possibly need. It is a matter of getting the work done. Prove that you deserve my time, my attention, and my ability to sit down with you and talk to you, whether it be through a video or live, doesn't matter. You have re-earned access into my life. Earn it. That's it for today.